Hey YouTube, today I'm going to be talking to you about tips on how to get your first job. And I guess this is really towards freshman and sophomore because I know once you're 16 and you're 15, you want to learn how to go out and get into the job market and get your first job. Not everybody, but a lot of people want to work, or some parents are forcing you to work. Whatever the situation may be, I'm going to give you some tips today on how to get your first job and how to handle the interview and how to present yourself and how to fill out an application and all the things that go with if you get hired or not. So the first step of getting a job is going out and looking for one, looking for places that are hiring. And when I say going out looking for one, I don't necessarily mean going on the online, sitting here in your computer chair and looking at job openings online. That always works too. You can do that, but you'll have a better chance at getting a job if you actually go out to the world and go to different places, fill out applications, hand them in to the manager. That really gives the manager a better thought about you. Like, she's really interested. She came all the way up here to talk to me and fill out an application instead of doing it online. Just because you do it online don't mean you're lazy, because not everybody doesn't have maybe a way to go to all these different places. But you just have better chances if you actually go to the place. The next step, actually filling out an application. So once you pick a place that's hiring, or even if you're not sure if they're hiring or not, but they have a application that's able to fill it out. Just because they don't have a big sign on the wall that says we're hiring doesn't mean that they aren't looking for anybody. Most of the time when you go to a place and it has a big sign on the wall that says we're hiring, mainly because they're in need of somebody. Like, we need to let people know we need somebody to work. But not all the time that's the case. So sometimes they may be looking for somebody new, or they may be wanting to hire somebody else, but they don't have a big sign out there to let you know that. They're just wanting people to come to them. And sometimes that's what you got to do to get the job. It makes you look better, presenting yourself better, like you really want this job and going out and getting it. You can't just wait for the person to sit around and call you. Okay, so once you pick your place, kind of pick some place close to home if you're starting out with your first job. Even if you have your own car, the gas stuff, try to pick somewhere that's kind of close. Not too close if you don't want to be that close. If you want to travel, then I guess you can go far, but maybe your local Walgreens up the street or something like that, because it's like a Walgreens on every corner where I live. And let me move my camera because it's kind of irritating me. Sorry about that. Yeah. Okay. So after you pick a location, you need to figure out if you're going to apply online, if they have that option, or you want to go up there and do it. So once you get the application in your hands, or you're about to fill it out online, be truthful with everything you say. Fill out the application online, fill it out on a piece of paper, double check your application. Always double check your application. Once you fill it out, even if you're online, once you fill out the first page, double check, you go over everything, make sure you spelled your name right, your street address right, make sure you put in your right social security number. If you don't know your social security number, ask your parents. Make sure you put in everything right, and double check spelling, anything like that. But the most important part with the spelling and the grammar and the punctuation, all that, is that it's not on every job application, but a lot of job applications have like a paragraph that says, tell us about yourself, or what are your skills, volunteer experience, stuff like that. That's the part where you sell yourself. Sell yourself, I mean giving yourself to the employer, letting that employer know who you are. You're not just Chloe and your last name and a social security number. You are a person that has good speaking skills. You're good with people. You're good with animals, depending on where you're applying to. You volunteered at such and such home, so that's giving you a little experience on what you're going to be doing when you get your job. Let the people know who you are. Let the people know what you do. Let them know that you're in school, so you're going to have flexible hours. You're going to work after school. Some days during the week you won't not be able to work. You can work weekends. Let them know your situation. Let them know who you are. You're not just a name and a social security number. A lot of people take that little section for granted and don't write a lot. Write a lot. Tell that person who you are. And if you write a lot in that little section, the employer is going to look at you like, this person really wants this job. Look at all this stuff they wrote. Yeah. It makes yourself look good. So write it all. Write a lot. Sell yourself. And double check, spell, Google any words that you don't know how to spell. Use bigger words that you don't know. If you want to use a bigger word for this word, Google what is another word for this word, and then use that word. If you know what I'm saying, use a bigger word than the word that you were originally going to use. Sell yourself to the employer. Let the employer know who you are. So once you get done with all the skills and stuff, some places have like an assessment test. The assessment test part is fairly easy. You just have to have common sense. What you need to do for the assessment test is read the question through. Don't like kind of glance over like, okay, that's A. Next. Like, no, read it. Make sure you understand it, because some of the questions are trick questions to kind of test your knowledge to see if you're actually paying attention or not. So you may slip up and put false when the answer is really supposed to be true, but you didn't read the question right, and now you can't go back to answer it. Some things you can go back, but not every job place lets you go back and change answers. But hopefully they do it if you mess up. My hair. Every video I just always complain about my hair, don't I? Okay, so the next thing after you do the assessment test, it's kind of like I want to say about 30 to 60 questions asking, like, if a customer came in with a return but didn't have the receipt, what would you do? And it gives you like a list of options, like 4 A, B, C, D, and it gives you like, I would tell the customer she cannot return this. I would look up the item in the computer to see when the item was bought and determine if we can return it or not. Exchange the item for something else, or blah, blah, blah. Give the customer a gift card. Excuse me. It's going to have 4 different types of options, maybe 3 or 4, and you have to pick the best answer. So you really need to read those assessment questions, because the assessment questions are really what determines if that employer is going to call you for an interview. Because if they see that you answer the assessment questions with a whole bunch of stupid answers and you're not using common sense, they're not even going to consider calling you. Your application is going to be in the trash. So pay attention on those assessment questions. After the assessment questions, the application process is usually over. I want to say assessment questions are kind of on bigger companies. Six Flags, if you apply there, they have that long assessment question. It was so long and dreadful, but yes, I filled it all out and I got it through. Sears has an assessment question part. Kmart has assessment questions. I think Walmart did when I applied. I think they did. Walgreens has assessment questions. And Walgreens, once you fill out the assessment questions online, you have to go up to the store and fill out the rest of the assessment questions. So yeah, it's a lot. But some applications like Qdoba, the Mexican grill, Qdoba, they have I went up there and got an application. The application was just front and back, like name, experience. It wasn't no assessment questions, like front and back. Same thing with American Eagle. So some things are really short and easy, and they're going to ask you all the assessment questions at the interview. Some jobs, they'll ask you the assessment questions on the actual application. So after the assessment questions are over with, then that should be it with the whole application process, hopefully. Maybe well, no, that's not it. They're going to ask you, okay, when can you start? How many hours a week are you expecting to work? Can you work holidays? Can you work overnights? Can you work weekends? Can you work weekdays? Can you work evenings? What hours are you available? What days are you available? Have you graduated from high school? Do you have your GED? Do you have any type of certificates or bachelor's degrees in anything? Why do you want to work for us? They're going to ask you questions. They're going to dig deep into you, and you just have to bring out your inner heart and just put it all on the application and let the person know who you are. So after the assessment and after the when can you start and how many hours, they're going to ask you, well, they may or may not ask you, but from my experience, I've been asked, how much are you expecting to be paid? Put negotiable. That word, that negotiable, starts with an N. Negotiable. Put that at the part where it says desired. It may say desired pay. Yeah, desired pay per hour. Put negotiable. You don't have to put negotiable. You can put minimum wage depending on where you're trying to work. You're most likely going to start out at minimum wage. You can put the minimum wage for your state or whatever, or you can put negotiable. And I would put negotiable because it's really going to let the employer know, okay, I can work with this person, me and her or me and him can sit down and we can kind of figure out, how the pay thing is going to go. This person wants to work. They're not so fed up on the money part. They want to work. They want to make money, obviously, but they're negotiable, and they want to discuss with me how much I will be paying this person. So this person is an open-minded person. Me and her can sit down and talk about it. But if you put, I want $12 an hour, they're gonna be like, bye. So you put something reasonable or put negotiable. Those are your two options. Make it reasonable, make it negotiable. And after they ask you desired pay, I don't think I missed anything. I don't really know. Yeah, I think that's about it after they ask you all that. And then they'll give you like a paragraph like, thank you for applying with us today. We will be in contact with you if we feel that you are if you qualify for the position. If you do, we will call you for an interview and blah, blah, blah. And tips after the application process. After you fill it in, after you turn it into the manager, or after you submit it online, call them back. Not the same day, not the next day, not the day after that. Give them about a week and a half. Because managers are busy. Managers have to handle employees, have to handle customers, they have to pay people, they have to look at interviews, or they have to schedule interviews, they have to do interviews, then they have to look at other people's applications. Managers are busy people. Give them some time. Don't sit there and call the next day and be like, I bet I applied yesterday. Did you look at it yet? Give them some time. Just, don't be too pushy. But you have to, sometime in the job market, you do have to be a little pushy to really show that, hey, I want this job. Don't forget about me. I'm in the application. I'm in your application system. Don't forget. I'm going to keep calling. But don't call the next day after you filled it out. Give them some time to look at it. So I suggest about a week and a half or 2 weeks before you call, if they haven't called you already, and say, hey, well, don't say hey, but say, hi, my name is, and I filled out an application. Tell them if you filled it out online or if you turned it into the store. And I was just wondering if you had a chance to look over it yet. Then you get quiet, and they say, well, yes, I've had a chance to look over it, and I'm very pleased, and blah, blah, blah. Would you like to come in for an interview? Or they will say, no, I haven't had a chance to look over it yet, but when I look over it, I'll call you. So it just, vice versa, depending on who you're working with, depending on what your answer is going to be. So after you turn the application and after you call your follow-up call, if they call you back for an interview, get dressed up, get nice, wear your little pencil skirt or you can wear some black slacks depending on the weather. Wear your cute little blouse, not nothing revealing, kind of make high collar like this shirt is, kind of up here. Get maybe some ruffles or something, some really quiet jewelry like this necklace, something real quiet, nothing big and hanging and changly. Go into the interview, have an open mind, shake their hand firmly, stand up. If you're sitting down waiting on them to come, when you see them, you stand up, shake the manager's hand. Hi, I'm Chloe. Hi, I'm blah, blah, blah. And then, what's that little flip part? And then, you guys go talk and have your little interview. Eye contact. Bring a resume with you, even if you've never worked before, even if you've never worked anywhere, it doesn't matter. Make a resume. There is no excuse. I hate that. I've never had a job. So what? You can still have a resume. Just what? You don't have to have a job to have a resume. A resume is showing the employer who you are, letting them know what you're capable of, any volunteer experience you've had, any skills that you have. Print it out, type it in a resume form. You may want to Google that if you don't know what that looks like. Bullet points, put your address, Google how to type a resume and put what you need to put and present it. And me, being who I am, when I went on my interview, I actually brought my report card with me because she knew I was in high school and stuff, so I know she was going to ask me, how's your grades in school? Have you ever been expelled or anything like that? I brought my report card that I had first semester, and my grades were, I had 6 A's and 1 B. And I was just so proud of myself, and I brought it to her, and she was like, wow, you're a hard worker. Like, it's not the fact that you're showing off your grades and, oh, look, I got 6 A's. It's showing her that you're a hard worker, because obviously, if I have 6 A's, I'm working hard at school, and I'm going to work hard at this job if you hire me. So you have to think outside the box sometimes. Bring that report card, Not if you have like F's and B's, don't show them all that. But if it's something that you're really proud of, I'm pretty sure they'll be grateful to see it, and they'll probably take that into consideration that you bought it. So hopefully I helped you with your first job search thingy. And hopefully these tips were helpful to you. Hopefully you do get your first job, and hopefully you do good on the interview, and hopefully I can stop saying hopefully every 3 seconds. So bye.